Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a beautiful princess who had a rather unusual hobby. Instead of knitting, painting, or playing the harp like most princesses, she loved to explore the forbidden forest that lay just beyond the castle walls. She would sneak out in the evenings and roam the forest paths, enjoying the freedom and the thrill of the unknown. The other princesses thought she was crazy. Why would you want to go into that dark, scary forest all by yourself? They'd ask her, there are wolves and bears and witches and things in there that go bump in the night. But Princess Elara only laughed at their fears and continued exploring. She made friends with the deer and the rabbits and the squirrels. She learned to identify every tree and plant, and she even befriended a grumpy old troll who lived under one of the bridges. One day, while wandering through the forest, Elara stumbled upon a clearing she'd never seen before. In the middle of the clearing stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms, and at the foot of the tree was a tiny cottage made of twigs and leaves. Elara, being ever curious, decided to investigate. As she approached the cottage, she heard the sound of singing. It was the most beautiful singing she'd ever heard, and it seemed to call to her like a siren's song. Unable to resist, Elara followed the sound and found herself at the doorstep of the cottage. Just then, the door opened, and a woman appeared. She was old and hunched over, yet there was a twinkle in her eye and a smile on her wrinkled face. "Well, hello there," she said to Elara. Come in. I was just finishing up my tea." Elara hesitated for a moment, then stepped inside. The cottage was cozy and warm, and the smell of baking bread filled the air. The old woman poured Elara a cup of tea and they sat down by the fire. "Thank you for inviting me in," Elara said. "But why do you live out here all alone? Don't you get lonely?" The old woman chuckled. "Lonely? Oh, no, my dear. I have all my animals here. And besides, I'm never alone. Not when the fairies visit." Elara's eyes widened. "Fairies? You mean like Tinkerbell and the others?" "Who?" The old woman pretended to be confused. "Oh, you mean the fairies that are always causing mischief and stealing children? They're not welcome here. I've made it very clear that I don't want them visiting. But of course, they never listen." Just then, a group of fairies flew in through the window, each one more beautiful than the last. They were giggling and playing, and they paid no attention to the old woman's glare. "I told you not to come here," the old woman snapped. "Can't you hear me talking to this poor child? Leave us alone." The fairies stopped their game and stared at Elara. "Who is this?" one of them asked. "A friend," the old woman replied. "And she's here because you wouldn't leave me alone. Now, if you'll excuse us, I'm sure she'd like to get back to the castle before dark." The fairies buzzed around Elara, their wings making a soft humming sound. "Don't listen to her, little one," one of them said. "She's just a silly old woman who doesn't know how to have fun. Stay with us and we'll show you how to really enjoy yourself." But Elara knew that these fairies were trouble. She thanked the old woman for the tea and the hospitality and hurried out of the cottage. She ran as fast as she could, and the fairies flew alongside, trying to keep up with her. When Elara finally reached the castle walls, she was safe. She turned around and saw the fairies hovering in the distance, their laughter echoing through the forest. Elara smiled. She knew that she would never be bored as long as she lived in that castle. There was always adventure to be had, even if it didn't always involve exploring the forbidden forest.